The most remarkable thing I find is that my brain somehow, why does my brain want to go and smooth these edges I see in the environment around me? Why is it automatically doing this rounding? I've been using Neurographica, which is it's an art form, but it's also rewiring the brain. The art actually looks like the neurons in the brain. I don't know in depth how it works, and the man that invented it, a Russian psychologist, and he decided through his studies to incorporate this form of art therapy into his work. I find it relaxing, I find it therapeutic in some way, and so the purpose of it is you draw lines and these lines overlap. So we've got X's on the page, so anywhere where there's an X is a sharp point. So we round these sharp points off, and when I've done an exercise, if I look at the ground and I see where the tiles cross, my mind wants to soften these sharp points. It'll put a circle in, or it'll just round it off. And so it's rounding off the sharpness in ourselves. That's how it's explained to me. Because in nature we don't get so many sharp edges. But if we look around our environment, there's a lot of sharp edges. So the way I would start a piece of Neurographica is, there's two ways. So one way is I can either do a cathartic process, and in that cathartic process I have something in mind and I put my feet on the floor, I'm grounded, maybe put my hands on the paper, so I'm putting energy into the paper. And so say I was doing a piece on love. I put my hands on the paper, I think about love. I think about everything that I've been taught about love, everything that is false about love, everything that is maybe dysfunctional about love. And I'm thinking about that, and then I pick up the pen and I cathart. So I scribble as hard as I want into the page, and I cathart onto the page. And then I start taking the lines, any lines that are in that cathartic expression, I take them out to the edges of the page, so it's not sitting in the center of the page. And then I start doing the rounding. The other way I start, if I wanted to do a 25-day challenge, I wouldn't necessarily cathart. It would be, I'm starting from the left-hand side of the page and I'm drawing a neurographic line over to the other side of the page. And if I wasn't comfortable just having this line, because this line it's never got points the same, it's always changing. So you can take like a penny or something, you can start on the edge and you can push the pen to move the penny. So it goes where you have no control over it, to the other side of the page. So then once you've got those lines going across from one side of the page to the other side of the page, then you start putting circles in. But it is important to do the rounding and not take a break. And even if strong emotions come up, or there's a sense, I want to go and get a cup of tea, or I want a drink or something, to not do that, to stay with it. To stay with it because something's being processed in there. Like, I could use a piece of Neurographica if I wanted to work on something in particular. I've been working with gratitude for 14 days now. So as I set myself a challenge, I'm staying with the gratitude for 25 days. And what I might see is I might see different expressions of patterns, because circles in Neurographica they're like containers, and you put a circle around where there's a lot of energy. So I put the circle around, oh, there's a lot of energy here. Where other parts of the page, because I have hardly any lines, but where there's lots of lines, where there's lots of energy, I put the circles around. You could also say it's a way of having a gratitude journal. So it's another form of having a gratitude journal. So rather than just writing out what I'm grateful for, I'm only on the back of the paper, I'm just writing gratitude 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And I'm saying just the words like Hong Kong or food or whatever. But it's all the energy of it is in that piece of artwork. So we've got two things going on. And because I love art, it's a way of me being able to incorporate the two. And I've already seen how, from when I started, which isn't very long ago, to where I've got to now, how it's become more refined. If I wanted to do another piece of artwork that day and something came up in me and I thought, oh, I feel uncomfortable about this, I could take the paper and maybe do a cathartic expression if I wanted to. So a reoccurring thing could come up. If there's something in me that hasn't been resolved yet, or I don't feel comfortable enough about, or I feel like there could be another layer of something in there, I could do another cathartic Neurographica. We've got our lines, we've got our circles, we've got our rounding, we've got our colours, we've got this nice piece of art, and then we have to take a black pen, a thicker pen, and we have to put lines from one side of it to the other side, and we have to put at least 3 lines going across. So we're taking from the left side to the right side. It's like taking it into the future. So taking what's here and taking it into the future. Sometimes it can look very ugly. It can look like a nice piece of art has now become this piece of mess. So what we have to do then is we have to reintegrate these integration lines. So obviously we've got more rounding to do. We have to do more rounding. And sometimes I like to soften them a little bit by putting like maybe another line around them. But you just have to keep working with it so that it's all integrated. So there's a lot of integration going on. Even though like we may have done catharsis, then those lines are like somehow we're kind of forced in a way to integrate this. Because sometimes we can draw a nice piece of art and then we don't usually have somebody come along, or we come along and put these thick, heavy lines through it. And then it's like, okay, you've got to still make it look nice for yourself. It's not that it has to look nice for yourself. It has to feel, you want it to feel like it's, you're not leaving it sort of like abandoned.